hold him and slowly lower yourself onto his mouth. And then you grind. Tell him to lick it. And ask him how he likes it. How does it taste? So if your mouth is too small, your teeth is too big, he's too endowed, and that's what you should be doing. You guys are on 69 position. You just reach behind and just raise his head. If you happen to make a lot of noise, slopping on his joystick and gasping for breath after deep throating him, don't think for a second that it's turning your man off. Men love the sound. Like, I don't even know how to, because there's no joystick in my mouth, so there's no way I can do it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. Yesterday we talked about tips on how to give your man great head jobs. Something way remarkable, something way different from the usual. Today, I also promised that I was coming back to tell you how to protect your man's joystick from your teeth, because that's a lot of that's one of the problems with, blowing your man. That's one of the reasons some men are really scared when it comes to women giving them blowjob, because some women just don't know how to control their teeth. You find them grazing their teeth on the joystick or grazing the joystick with your teeth, and that's not a good thing at all. It just changes the whole dynamics for the man, all right? And you don't want that. So today I'm going to be giving you ways that you could, just protect your man's joystick from hurting just because your teeth is too big, or maybe his joystick is too big, or your mouth is too small and you don't know how to handle that type of situation. Are you ready? But before then, if you know that you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do that. Click on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a video here. I'll try to be consistent. Usually I post 5 times in a week, but I took a break, but now I'm back. Okay, so let's get right into it. Now let's talk about the thing with teeth. You already know how sensitive your husband's joystick is, especially the underside of the head. That's the frenulum, the cap. So for pleasuring it, this is obviously a good thing to do, like softly pleasuring it with all the technique that I gave to you yesterday. To those of you who have not watched it, here is a link up here, all right? But then again, I need you to know that if you apply too much pressure or you're being too rough with his joystick, then you're going to hurt your man and he will not find it funny. It's the same thing for your clit and your juicy part. If your man is going down on you too roughly, you won't find it pleasing at all. You will find it really irritating and annoying. So just imagine how sore it would be if your man had nails that were constantly pricking you, or worse still, can you just imagine how painful it would be if he started using his teeth on your clit, on you, as he's licking you out and performing cunnilingus? It would be so annoying. It would be an agony. So the only mandatory head tip or BJ tip when giving your man oral sex is that you absolutely must not use your teeth on him. It can completely just ruin an otherwise fantastic BJ. But then again, you would be asking a question, what if he's particularly well endowed, or you have a small mouth, or you have a big teeth? In that situation, in situations like this, it can be almost impossible to avoid using your teeth during the job. So the first thing that you can do to save that situation is to wrap your lips around your teeth like so that your lips act as a soft barrier. The second thing is focusing on techniques where you don't necessarily have to take him into your mouth, like the tips that I had given you before. Or you could just end up giving him hand job with just a cap around your mouth. You just have your hand, your hand could just be doing the job while your head, you're just bumping your head in and out his cap. Because that's basically where the sensation is really heightened. That's where I think the cap is way more sensitive than the shaft, I think, if I'm not wrong. So if your mouth is too small, your teeth is too big, he's too endowed, And that's what you should be doing. Now, you also need to understand that the position that you use in giving your man head can be incredibly important. And here is what I mean. If you want to act submissive for your man when you blow him, then you just getting down on your knees or you being pushed down by him while he remains standing can feel quite submissive, while your man feels dominant. All right, men love this kind of position because it just boosts your masculinity. Also, looking up and, basically just making eye contact with him during your head job while you're on your knees can intensify this feeling of submissiveness or submission. Then if you really want him to feel like a man, I could tell you this for a fact that when you have your hands cuffed behind your back, or you just put your hands behind you and you're giving your man more control over you, it can just ramp up that submissive feeling to the max. And of course, this can make him hold your head in his hands and just ram into your face in ways that pleases him. But I am hoping that he will do it in such a way that it doesn't make you feel some type of way, except you like it. All right? Because some men can't handle that submissive stance in that type of disposition. So, yeah, if you know that you can handle him being rough or treating you, I don't know, but just be... He knows you. He should be with a man who respects you enough. That's if you're not so sensitive and you feel some type of way. Because some men can just hold your head and just be jerking it, ramming in and out and not caring whether you're gagging or not. If you like that sort of rough play, then fine. Do you get? I just love it being done in a way that you don't feel some type of way. You don't feel like he used you. Or he doesn't just respect your womanhood. Yeah, that's how I feel. Because there are some activities that you get into with your man and you start to feel, did he really just do that out of love or out of disrespect? Do you get what I mean? You understand my drift, right? So there's got to be some level of consideration for one's feeling. Do you get? Not to be so sensitive. Now let's just flip the script from being submissive to being dominant. Like you're the one who is now dominant. Of course, you could push your man down on the bed so that he's laying on a bed or maybe on a couch. He's laying on the back. Then you straddle his head or shoulders and just slowly lower yourself onto your man's mouth. All right? Okay, so let's just assume that your man is under. Then you tell him to lick it. Just don't tell him to lick it, command him to lick it. He's under you and he's licking you. You can even hold his head and just whine. You know what I mean? This is YouTube. I don't want YouTube to come and cancel my YouTube channel. So let me just be careful. So but you get the drift. So you tell him you hold him and then you grind. You tell him to lick it and ask him how he likes it. How does it taste? And let him speak while you're still grinding. Do you get what I mean? Grind softly. But do not do it in such a way that he cannot breathe. You need to be able to leave space for him. All right? Be able to leave space for him. So you could just go front, back, front, and just grind. Hold his head and just saddle. You get what I mean? And finally, you could just lean forward to return the favor and start blowing him in 69 position. So from this position, you could just turn around. Let's assume this is where his head is and his other part of his body is behind. You just turn and do the 69 variation, and he's blowing you, he's licking you and you're blowing him. And then to intensify the feeling, you can reach behind his head because, all right, this is him, this is his joystick, you're giving him 69, you guys are on 69 position. If you just reach behind and just raise his head behind, let him lick and you can grind. So that's just a way to intensify the feeling. You can just reach behind to his head and just grab his head or hair or whatever and pull him in towards your juicy part so that you can lick and you can just grind as well. Grind. Make sure that, and if he's a man with beard, oh my God, make sure that your juice just rubs his beard. That's what they call it, face riding. Yes, you ride his face. What's his beard for? It's for it to be wet with your juice. So take advantage of it and grind slowly so that the hair will now not come and tear your powerhouse at the end of the day. So you grind slowly. Just grind slowly, slowly. And make sure that you close your eyes and feel the sensation. You know, I am spoiling you guys. Or if you still want to be in that very, very dominant position, you could just tie his hands to the bed and do whatever you need to do. Or alternatively, to spice up this whole thing, right? You could just use a position that you have never used before with your man. Now, the point that I'm trying to make here is that the position you give your man head job in can add a lot to his pleasure and the sensitivity, and to yours as well too. The position that you use becomes incredibly important if your man is someone who gets turned on visually. And, you know, as you already know, a lot of guys are visual animals. And speaking of being visual, another way for you to add to your man's visual experience is to use a mirror. And there is no need for you to go and install a custom ceiling mirror above your bed. No way. But think about giving him head in front of a regular wall mirror that you have in your house, or even in front of a large window or a glass shower door. That's if you have it, where he can see your reflection. Now, follow me. All right. I need you to know that according to some studies, you know, the average erect size is about 5 inches long. While some other studies will tell you that, oh, you know, the average erect joystick is closer to 5.6 inches. And some of them have been pegged to be 6 inches long. So basically 85% of men are said to be average in size. All right. Now this is where I'm getting at. I need you to know that the depth of the mouth from the lips to the throat can vary with the size and shape of your jaw. Some estimates put it around 3 to 4 inches in depth. So you can figure yours out by using maybe a dildo and see how far you can insert it, all right? Now, doing the math, this means that if you take your man into your mouth, down to the base of his joystick, then he's going to hit the back of your throat and trigger your gag reflex. And this isn't a problem if you don't have a gag reflex, but most of us have super sensitive one. Now, the trick that you need to use to prevent him from triggering your gag reflex is start your head job by placing your hands at the base of his joystick so that you can control how deep you take him. So if he's particularly well endowed, then you can wrap a few fingers around the base of his joystick so that you can only take a small section of his joystick into your mouth. Otherwise, you can just place your hand near the base of his joystick or even on his thighs so that you can control the depth with which he goes into your mouth. This immediately means that you can forget about gagging and can instead focus on giving him more pleasure because your hands are now acting as a barrier between the full length and your throat, preventing you from gagging. All right. And don't forget to give him feedback. Don't forget to give him feedback with his anaconda in your mouth, with his joystick. So you're giving him feedback with his joystick in your mouth. As I mentioned before, most guys are visually turned on. But what you may not know is that they adore hearing your head jobs too. And how can he hear your head jobs? Well, it's simple. Through your licking, your slopping, your kissing, your breathing, your moaning, the wetness and all of those stuff. And I'm not talking about making loud fake sounds as you take his joystick into your mouth. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that most guys love hearing the sounds that you make, that you naturally make during your blowjob session. In fact, the noises women make can help their men orgasm. So if you happen to make a lot of noise slopping on his joystick and gasping for breath after deep throating him, don't think for a second that it's turning your man off. Men love the sound. Like, I don't even know how to, because there's no joystick in my mouth, so there's no way I can do it. That, and you're blowing it. I don't even have saliva. The saliva in my mouth has dried, so I cannot even make any sound. But you shall know what I am saying. Slopping, those sloppy wet sound. You get the drift. You understand what I'm saying, right? So all of those noise, men really love those noises. It's not even the sounds, the moaning that you make. It's the sloppy sounds that you make. And if you're enjoying yourself during the blowjob, feel free to moan. Moan your pleasure. Even with him in your mouth, moan. And trust me, when you make sounds or humming sounds while he's inside of your mouth, it can send waves of sensation through his spine, because those sounds sends vibration onto his joystick. And then again, there is another way that you can give your man super crazy BG. Is by getting him to stay on all fours, like so. On all fours, and let's say you're beneath, right? You're beneath him, and you're blowing him from under. So he's not sitting, he's just on all fours like this, and you're blowing him from under. Do you know what that's another different, that's what I mean by blowing him in an unconventional position. In an unconventional position, a position that he's not used to, right? This position, if you give him, he's on all fours, you're beneath, right? You're beneath, and you're giving him, you're gulping it, even without your hands holding it, because already, without your hands holding his joystick is already dangling down like this. So what you're doing is, you're beneath and doing all of the stuff that you need to do. Swirl your, do you get what I mean? Hey, Ogbani, when you finish with that man, when you finish with that man, trust me, he will be exhausted. He will be exhausted. You see, now the actual sex might not last up to 10 minutes. That's if the guy can hold up till 10 minutes. But what makes love making, the entire love making, so long? Like 1 hour, 2 hours, you guys are still struggling in bed. It is the foreplay, the teasing, the edging. I don't know if you guys still remember. It's been a while that I talked about edging a guy. How do you edge a guy? He's almost at the verge of coming. You know, he would tell you, he would let you know that he's almost at the edge of, climaxing. And you pull away and do other things, or you refrain from doing the things that make him want to come. And then you go maybe to kissing him, and whatnot. That would help even him who can easily ejaculate so fast. Do you get delayed ejaculation? So don't worry, we still have a lot to talk about when it comes to giving that man. We have milking too, where he's on all fours and you're milking from behind. You're milking from behind. You're playing with his perineum. You're licking his perineum. And let me chill. I'm just coming. So let me just take it slowly, slowly, so that you guys will not run away from this channel. You guys will not run away from this channel. Anyways, this is where I'm going to end it. Until I come your way, do know that I love you and God loves you best. And also remember that all of these things that I'm talking about is only for the man that you are married to. Don't go and be doing this. Don't go and be doing this to a man that you're not married to, or a man that you're not exclusive with, or a man who is not committed to you. Those are husband privileges. Even in a relationship, Seth, I do not advise you to go and be giving him all of these nasty BJ tips that I'm giving you. Are you hearing me? Because honestly speaking, you don't know where his members have entered. And you want to be careful. Before you do all these things, especially those of you who fornicate, I do not advocate for you people to fornicate. Those of you who cannot hold your body before marriage, make sure that you guys are doing, checkup. You cannot be doing all of these sensitive things or all of these things with a man that you've not gone for tests together, or you do not know his test results. It's scary as fuck. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Instead, the least that you can just do is just tease the balls. In fact, don't do it with your husband, not with someone that is not your husband. These are privileges for husbands, not for boyfriends. Okay? All right. God bless you.